Hey, what's up everybody? I'm going to do a classic rock reaction. This is Rush, man, and a song called The Necromancer. Highly requested, and a number of people sending me not only the requests but also instructions on how to listen and things of that sort. So thanks very much to everyone who requested this tune, and everyone who just stayed on me. Okay, you did Bytor, now you've got to do the Necromancer, now you've got to do this and this. So thanks for that, I appreciate it. It makes the learning curve a lot easier, especially when there's definitely a path to follow. So appreciate you folks for that. All right, now let's get on it. Rush, the Necromancer. Let's get it.
As gray traces of dawn tinge the eastern sky, the three travelers, men of Willowdale, emerge from the forest shadows. Fording the river dawn, they turn south, journeying into the dark and forbidding lands of the Necromancer. Even now, the intensity of his dread power can be felt, weakening the body and saddening the heart. Ultimately, they will become empty, mindless specters. Stripped of will and soul, only their thirst for freedom gives them hunger for vengeance.
Are they undergoing a spell? That opening monologue just got my mind going already.
The birds announce the dawn. Three travelers ford the river and southward journey on. The road is lined with peril. The air is charged with fear. The shadow of his
what a voice.
vast skies. The Necromancer keeps watch with magic-prism eyes. He views all his lands and is already aware of the 3 helpless invaders trapped in his land.
Wow. The Necromancer can astral travel. Fantastic musicianship. Alex Larson is so on point here. All 3 of them. Listen to that. That just came in quick. Yo. The guitars. It's just slaying me in this. Sir. Fantastic. All 3 of them. But those guitars are just slaying my ass today. Wow.
Entered the champion. Prince Vitor appears to battle for freedom from chains of long years. The spell has been broken. The dark lands are bright. The wraith of the Necromancer soars away in the night.
Prince Vitor appears to battle for freedom. Vitor from the Snow Dog. Vitor and the Snow Dog. Another land to darken. So he drove him away. He didn't slay him. I like how they stretch out the instrumentals here. It's deliberate. It leaves you with your thoughts. It's cool how they can go from a hard, thundering drop to a nice, relaxed pace so that you can absorb things. Great Odyssey. Wow. Okay, that's the song. Man, that was excellent. Excellent doesn't do that justice. That was masterful. That was masterful, man. The Necromancer. Think of what it all took to create a song like that and deliver it to us. From concept, an idea, to writing it down, to passing it along and collaborating, to getting all of the thumbs ups that you need, to going through all of your rehearsals and music writing and all of that sort of thing, to come up with a finished product like this and to get it to us. Think of all that these guys had to do that. When I hear a song like this that is so epic, a great fantasy, a great epic odyssey, I also think of the pains that they had to go through, the creative pains, all of those different things, the administrative pains and challenges, just to get that song to us. That's what I think of. Masterful is well deserved, man. I tell you, yeah, these guys, I've really come to like, love, and expect fantastic fantasy, far and away Odyssey-like songs like this from Rush. Yeah, of course they're capable of other great works like Tom Sawyer, things like that, commercial stuff. But yo, man, I really, really like when they dig in and they give you great odysseys like this. Fantastic, man. Wow. So, let's do a little background, man. Let's do a little read on Rush, and then we'll get into a little background of this great song. Awesome song. I like the shift that this song puts you through. It starts off in a really, really nice slow pace. I always liken their pace to kind of like that slow pace to like a winding river taking its time. And it starts off slow, and then you've got your breaks, and then you've got the power punches, and then it slows down a little bit more, and in the end you get a chance to absorb the message. It just stretches out the instrumentals. I love that formula, man. What a winning combination. You know, this formula was so present back in the classic rock golden years. There's Rush, there's Black Sabbath, there's Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple. These guys all had that winning formula of success. So simple, but yet so effective. And why the hell can't the artists of today just follow that simple, basic recipe? And, and just go back to some of those times where composing music was just so much simpler, yet more fruitful. You know, it had more heart, it had more juice, it had more of, it seems like it's just a simple formula. This is just the ignorant point of view from one person here who doesn't know a lick about music, but damn, I do know that music of today is just not as good as music of yesteryear. That I know. And if we were to follow just what these guys did, the music of today would just be so much better. That's my point. I know some of you will disagree and hate me for what I just said, but that's okay. It's just my opinion. Alright now, Rush. Rush was a Canadian rock band comprising Geddy Lee, Alex Lifeson, and Neil Peart. Formed in 1968, the band went through several configurations until arriving at its longest and most popular lineup when Peart replaced original drummer John Rutsey in July 1974. They had neglected to come up with a name for their group until John Rutsey's older brother yelled, "You're always on the go. Why don't you call the band Rush?" Rush is known for its musicianship, complex composition, and eclectic lyrical motives, drawing heavily on science fiction, fantasy, and philosophy. The band's musical style has changed several times over the years, from a blues-inspired hard rock beginning, later moving into progressive rock. They are among the most proficient players on their respective instruments, with each band member winning numerous awards in magazine readers' polls. Several industry sources estimate Rush's total worldwide album sales at over 40 million units as of 2017. The group has been awarded 24 gold, 14 platinum, and 3 multi-platinum albums. Alright. The Necromancer. The Necromancer appears on the album Caress of Steel. Caress of Steel is the third studio album by Canadian rock band Rush, released in 1975. The album showcases the band's continued evolution to hard progressive rock, as opposed to the blues-based hard rock style of the band's first album. Although Rush's previous album, Fly By Night, dabbled in longer conceptual pieces such as Bytor and The Snow Dog, such works were the central focus of Caress of Steel. Long pieces, broken up into various sections, and long solo passages are prominent elements of the album. It includes the band's first two epic pieces, The Necromancer and The Fountain of Lemnith. A necromancer is one who practices necromancy, a type of divination involving the summoning of spirits of the deceased. The Necromancer contains heavy influence from J.R.R. Tolkien's literary mythology. The Necromancer was an alias used by the character Sauron during the time frame of The Hobbit. Sorry, I didn't read that well enough, man. There were no commas, no breaks, no nothing, man. That was a long-ass sentence. Also, in the introductory prologue to the song, the lyrics allude to three travelers, men of Willowdale, as the song's protagonists. This is a reference to the band itself and an allusion to the Toronto suburb of Willowdale, where Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson grew up and formed the first incarnation of the band. Part 3 of the song, titled Return of the Prince, sees the return of the character Bytor from the song Bytor and the Snow Dog on Fly By Night. However, this time, Bytor is a hero and not a villain. Okay? Yeah. It's cool. So Bytor had a change of perspective, change of attitude after that ass whooping that he got from Snow Dog. There is a term, a coined phrase about the change of attitude someone suffers, or not someone gets once they suffer an ass whooping. It's like when a bully finally gets stood up to and gets his ass whooped, he has a change of attitude. There's a phrase, there's a coined phrase for it. Help me out with that. I know you know what I'm talking about. Lots of examples in history of people who've, after had a good ass whooping or a really good shaking up, they have a change of perspective, and now it's like the phoenix has risen, you know. The ashes of the old nasty person has fallen off, and now the real true person is there. But it would not have been able to be released if they didn't suffer a shaking up in the form of a really good ass whooping, you know. Spare the rod, you spoil the child. No, it isn't that. It's something more. It's something else. But you get the idea, you know. That goes back to childhood days. Man, I'm glad that my parents had no problem giving me a serious ass whooping when I needed it, because I see myself, I know myself. I would have turned out to be a serious scamp. Let's just use scamp as a word. All right. Here I am going off. I'm not doing any reading. Okay, so this song is comprised of 3 parts. 1, Into the Darkness. 2, Under the Shadow. And 3, Return of the Prince. Okay. That makes sense. Legacy of the band. In 1979, the Canadian government named them official ambassadors of music. They have won several Juno Awards, 7 Grammy nominations, an International Achievement Award, Group of the Year twice, and were inducted into the Juno Hall of Fame in 1993. They were inducted into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame in 1994 and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2013. All right, man. That is Song fact, Wikipedia information of the band and the song, the Necromancer. Yeah, I was saying earlier about how music today just doesn't give us the same kind of feels. It isn't the same today as it was back then. Back then, man, music like this just came from a different well. The creative element, the musicianship, the crisp vocals, all of those things just gelled so well together and created something masterful and epic like this, the Necromancer. I mean, you know, yeah, there are great musicians out there today. Yes, there are great songwriters still, great vocals still, but damn it, man, why the hell can't they just put things together and come out with something as epic as this anymore? I'm a little frustrated because I was having this conversation with a friend of mine, and the topic was, why the hell can't music of today give us great music the way music was in the classic era of rock, classic era of funk, soul, disco, R&B, all of those things. It seems like it was just the time. And even though, like I just said, that there are great musicians and creators today, they're just not creating that awesome element, that elemental thing that grips us and holds us and makes us embrace it as we did the music back then. I don't know, man. So that's why I remember saying to my friend about this, I said that, yeah, man, it's a simple formula, I think, but I don't know why it's just so hard to follow such a simple formula. You just got to look at what Rush has done to a certain extent. Put the pieces together and then you'll come up with hopefully a very complimentary version of what they've done. Not that you're copying, but you're borrowing from the elements or the ingredients of that success formula and creating something masterful in your own right, in your own likeness, but all the same, a cut from that awesome elemental cloth of great creativity and great delivery and all of that. Anyway, man, that was my frustration. I still have a bit of that frustration. I'll move on and get over that. So, yeah, and I like the story element too. So Baitor is the protagonist this time, not the villain. He's a good guy. So he's had a change of perspective since that ass whooping from Snow Dog. And again, yeah, there are some great examples in history about people who have come back from maybe a shakeup, and now they're really, really good. They're excellent. It's kind of like Ebenezer Scrooge, you know, getting haunted by the ghosts of Christmas, and now they've helped him to kind of maybe see the blinders are off, and he can see, feel, and express himself better. And now he is a great person to be around. I remember watching The Rumble in the Jungle, and I remember George Foreman was just a bulldozer of a guy. He was like a juggernaut type, and take no prisoners, I will rip your head off. He was better than Mike Tyson in his day. And the great underdog in the form of Muhammad Ali came, and not that he suffered a crazy ass whooping, but he suffered a defeat. And my understanding is that Big George went into a little bit of a depression, but in that shaking up stage of his life, he then evolved, rose from the ashes now, and he is now the great phoenix that we know as being George Foreman. So my point is, that's just an example. There's many, many others. Sometimes getting a shakeup in your life is what you need. Not that he was a big bully or anything like that, but I'm thinking about bullies. And in my experience, I've heard stories and I've seen that element take hold of certain people after they've had a shaking up. And now it's helped them to see things differently. Their attitude has changed, and now they're a lot more likable. So that's a good thing. A good ass whooping really, really changes things and helps things, I think. So, what else can I tell you about this song, man? This song is epic on so many levels, and I really, too, I like the continuation factor from the first song, By Tor and the Snow Dog, evolving into this, the Necromancer. That's really, and there you go again, that creative element, those little things that make things so epic. I'm going to use the word epic here, is there yet again. So great examples of what masterful creativity can do, so just following that thread from the first song to this one is really, really excellent. I'm also thinking of another example with that in Jethro Tull following Aqualung. There was Aqualung, and then there was Cross-Eyed Mary. And when I did that back to back and I saw the trail, I thought that was really, really cool. That was very smart, very genius, good creativity there to tie it together, So here in Rush, the same thing. So just little examples of what I'm talking about, of what we're missing today that I would like to see. I would just like to see a resurgence of that creative renaissance in music now, And I made a mention a couple of weeks ago in a reaction that there's so many of us black reactors now on YouTube reacting to classic rock, discovering it. And I simply believe number one reason being is that we don't have a lot of great, fantastic, creative artists around as much anymore. Michael Jackson, Donna Summer, Prince, James Brown, Aretha Franklin, they're all gone. And we need to infuse ourselves with something epic and masterful, you know what I mean? Because the music of today just isn't giving us that juice. So classic rock to me has always been ever-present neighbor just across the street. You've seen him for 30 years. You've waved, he's waved back. You have a great rapport, but it's just at face value, and you haven't really made the effort to acquaint yourself with it until now. So there's a lot of us black reactors on YouTube, tons of us now, discovering classic rock, reacting to classic rock. Why? Because the music of today doesn't have the epicness that classic rock like this has. So that's why we're turning to it. I'm speaking for other people, but I'm speaking for myself now. That is why I'm so wholly embracing classic rock now. And I suspect that that is the reason why so many other black reactors on YouTube are doing the same thing. All right, man. Anyway, I went off again, talking too much. Yeah, this was just a great song, man. And I really appreciate these three gents. They're fantastic masters of creativity. All of their instrumentation was just on point. Alex Lifeson, man, you are in my top 5 favorite guitarists. You can literally speak to me through your guitar playing, and those are the guitarists that I favor the most. Alex Lifeson, David Gilmour, Jimmy Page, Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan. You know, those are the guys that really, so far, have affected me the most. I gotta add another person recently, Richie Blackmore, from Deep Purple. I heard him play the other day with Ronnie James Dio, a Rainbow song, Stargazer, and he just reached right in here, man. You know, so there are certain guitarists that just really know how to speak to you through their playing. So Alex Lyson, you are definitely one of my favorite guitarists, brother. This was masterful work on your part in this song. All three of these gents were great, man. Anyway, I'm going to bounce up out of here, but I just want to go down to my notes before I do. First off, thank you very much to these folks here for recommending this song. These folks were very instrumental in me getting to this, and they gave me gentle reminders. Not pestering, but they gave me some nice reminders. And also thanks to Harry Rogers. Harry, thank you for sending me this link. I appreciate that, man. So just going to my notes here. So next up, probably not in any particular order, but just giving you what I've got in the pipeline coming up. I got Ringo Starr, Chrissy Hynde of The Pretenders in my Women in Rock series. And I've got the Guess Who coming up for my Canadian Rocker series. And I've also got a Led Zeppelin reaction coming up. I'm into the third album now. And by the way, I think what I'm going to do with Led Zeppelin going forward here is I'm still going through a state of overwhelm with Led Zeppelin, not realizing just how much time I was going to spend with Led Zeppelin. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick to the studio versions from the album of the song. Get all the way to the very, very end. Last album, last song. And then I'm going to come all the way back, and then I'm going to do the live renditions of those songs. Because at my pace, it's going to take me, I'm guessing, I've been doing this for 7 months. It's going to take me probably 3 to 4 years before I get to the very last Led Zeppelin song in the last album if I go at this pace. So I'm going to basically just stick to the studio album version of the song, and then I'll work my way back and then do live renditions as we go. So just keep that in mind. I'll make sure that I repeat this in my upcoming Led Zeppelin so that you guys have an idea of my evolution in the rabbit hole as I go along. Anyway, man, that's enough talking for today. So thanks very much for joining me. I appreciate it. Hope you like my reaction to the Necromancer. It was fantastic. It's epic. It's a dose of something that I really, really needed, because having that conversation with my friend just put a little bit of a bug up my ass. So I'm glad that I had this dose of epicness. So thank you very much again for all of you guys who recommended this song. Keep the recommendations coming. What do I listen to where Rush is concerned after this? And it doesn't always have to be a great odyssey like this. Anything from Rush is great, because they're just great musicians. So let me know what to listen to, and I'll definitely get to it. So I will catch you in my next Rush reaction. Peace out.